Hello everyone, it's Fred again from Notes of a Nomad, video number 297. Today I want to talk about reinvention. Now, what's reinvention? It means reinventing yourself and probably your life a little bit. And this sort of ties in with the previous video I did last week on Find Your Passion. What prompted this topic was this morning there was on the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, the program The Current, they were interviewing a fellow who used to be a CBC radio host. He did it for many years, early morning, getting up, let's say 4 o'clock to be, on the air at 5 o'clock in the morning, etc. And after many years, he got burnt out. So he thought, oh, he'll try something else. He was in London, England, and he tried to be a waiter for a while. And he said he wasn't too bad at that. But one day he was at a very famous food market in London, and there was a sign saying they're looking for a cheesemonger. Now, what's a cheesemonger? Well, a cheesemonger is the person who sort of mans the cheese stall at the food fair or the food market, and he selects and curates, which means he looks after it, makes sure the cheese is aged and, well kept, and he sells it. So if you come up to him at the food market, he would then make recommendations depending on your tastes and let you taste them and say, here's what, and knows the history. And he would became an apprentice cheesemonger. Said he was one of the older ones. A lot of the younger people were teaching him all about cheese. And he said this has nourished his soul and given him a sense of purpose. And he's rediscovered the power of community. Thus, this statement, if you want something you have never had, you must be willing to do something you've never done. This is what Thomas Jefferson said. And this is what he has discovered. Now, his name is Michael Finnerty, and he's written this book. And the book is, The Cheese Cure, a memoir. And it says it's more, the lady wrote a quote here at the top, it's far more than a memoir, it's a roadmap to happiness. And Michael describes, the fact that he's become much richer than he ever was. He earns less money, but he's enormously happy doing this job. And as it said, he has discovered a lot about himself and a lot about community and a lot about cheese, obviously. He even brought some cheese for the radio host who was interviewing him to try. In this case, it was Canadian cheeses. He tried 4 different kinds. But this has really explained, what you can do, that there are lots of things in your life. So life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Try different things. When I look back on my life, I realize that I've done a lot of things. I have sold women's shoes in a shoe store. I've helped proofread newspaper, worked in the gold mining industry as a miner and worked up to be a mine manager. I've sold computer systems and computer services, computer software, ran my own business, helping people as a recruiter to find people in computer technology to work as salespeople or sales support people, etc. So, but what I've really discovered is now that I've retired, my passion and what I'm enjoying enormously and become very rich personally, not financially, and very happy is helping our younger generation become better communicators and leaders. So that's part of what was said. Michael said, you uh, you can do a lot more than you ever thought you could do. And that's what he discovered, that there's a lot more that you can do than you could do. So with that, I'll say adios, au revoir, wishing you, your family and friends, lots of love and laughter, and hopefully you can find your passion or something that makes you extremely happy as well. Because as Michael said, there's a lot more you can do than you thought you could do. Bye for now. Till next time, from Fred and Notes of a Nomad.